So I wanted to talk a little bit about the realities of how much capital you need to get started in a mobile welding business. Now, these are numbers just specifically from me and how I started, and I'll talk a little bit about why I had to start the way I did and what I would actually advise for other people to do if they're getting into their own mobile welding business. Now, starting out, I had to start from scratch, from zero. I came from Alaska down here in Arkansas, decided I want to start a mobile welding business. I had just traded my truck away the year before, so I didn't have a truck or anything. I had to start literally from ground zero. So I'm going to give you worst case scenario on what it would cost you to get into a mobile welding business if you have nothing. So what it was I ended up going first, the first expense, I went down to the local bank and I got a business loan. I took that loan and went and purchased my truck. I bought this truck that I use, that you guys have seen, and that I sit and do all my videos in and do all my work with. I bought it for $12,000. So it's an F350 dually flatbed, 4-door, 6.0 diesel, with all the fun that it came with. That I got it for $12,000. I then had to get a welding machine. I went and bought myself a welding machine for $4,500. And that had 200 foot of lead on it. It had like 50 hours on it. I got like a 100-foot hose and TIG rig with it. And I got a $2,000 Active 8 suitcase MIG welder that all came with it for $4,500. You could do better or you could do worse than that. I know there's, that's just what I spent, so I'm just giving my numbers. So 12 and 40, 4,500, that's $16,500. And then on top of that, to get started, I had to go then purchase general liability insurance. For me, for the year at the time, just getting started, it was about, I want to say it was either $1,300 or $1,600. It was the beginning of last year, and I'm actually gonna have to pay it again this year. And it probably will increase because I'm going to change my work scope that involves more liability. So it'll probably up, but about $1,300 to $1,600. So we're already looking at about $18,000 just to get in at that point. Now, I had to buy toolboxes, which for my truck, I think both of them together, $400. And then all the tools involved. So all the tools involved to get up to where I was operating as an actual mobile welder, with the grinders and the clamps and the consumables and the safety gear, and the list goes on and on, and I'll get into a whole nother video talking about all the stuff you need on a weld rig when you're first getting started. But that, I would say, what I spent there was probably about $2,000 to $3,000 to get everything I needed. So we're already up to about $21,000. That was from ground zero, guys. That was worst case scenario. If you have absolutely nothing and you just have this wild hair, you want to start a mobile welding business like me, that's roughly about where you're going to be at. Now, I would advise, and this is why, I would advise maybe going for a little bit better truck, more dependable. Because, yeah, I got a massive truck that you normally don't purchase much bigger than a 1-ton dually truck. That's an 8-foot bed and a 4-door crew cab. The reason why is because I then had to spend another $9,000 just to get it up to par. The maintenance was not maintained on it, which I was not aware of. Lesson learned, I'll be much more strict when I buy other trucks, but this was the best deal I could buy, and I talked about it before. I decided to go for a cheap truck for a great price instead of going for a great truck at a fair price. I should have spent the $18,000 and got a decent truck instead of trying to get so cheap. Ended up biting me. So instead of $12,000, the truck cost me $21,000. But like I said, that's how much it all took to get into the truck. But we got to go back and talk about the fact that I got the truck out of a business loan. So what I ended up spending personally was that $1,600 plus the other $4,500 plus the other $2,000 to $3,000. So really, I was only in it for probably about $10,000 of my own money, $10,000 to $12,000. What ended up being added on to, and why I personally had to dump in $23,000 after it was all said and done was because the repairs. You know, that was unexpected, and that's what I want you guys to focus on here is everything's not going to go perfect. Hopefully it does not go as bad as for me and you don't make the mistakes that I did. I made quite a few mistakes, and that's the point of these videos. But I put in $23,000 to start from ground zero, and that was all my own money just to get started. Then, on top of that, what you guys are going to need to know is you need to have, like, I would advise at least 6 months emergency fund or, funding set back for you to live off of. Because if you have no reputation, you don't know anyone, no one knows you, you haven't done any jobs, no one knows how they can trust you or what kind of work you do, it's going to take about 6 months for the word of mouth and for your reputation to build up to where you get enough work that it can pay for your weld business, all its expenses, and your lifestyle. It's actually having to fund two things, and that's quite a bit more than just being employed and just covering your lifestyle. So, that's where it's at. Whatever your personal living expenses are per month, times that by 6, you need that at least saved up to be able to survive. Now I'm going to talk about what I think everyone should do, which is a better avenue. Wish I could do it. The reason I couldn't is because my day job was in Alaska, so I couldn't do a side hustle. And that's what I suggest everyone does. And the work around here, it was not an option for me to get a job because the pay is just absolutely horrible here. And I could not sustain my lifestyle that I was accustomed to by getting a job. So if you're already in a job, my best advice for you is two things. Be able to drive how much capital you need to get started down, and all the liability of just getting started, drive it down. You're going to kill two birds with one stone, and this is how. By doing a side hustle in your business, one, you can be accruing a truck, a welding machine, all the equipment you need, little at a time. Little at a time. Think like a year, 2 years, 3 years out to start getting all the stuff you need. That way, when you go to jump out there, you don't need all this capital to get started. You've bought it throughout the course of. And then secondly, do side work as you're crewing your material. If you get your welding machine and a truck and stuff first, you can start doing side jobs and start getting your reputation out there. And when you get to the point in a year, 2, 3 years, then when that income just about nearly overtakes your day job, or if you quit your day job, it would overtake how much you make from your day job, that's the time to then quit your job, go full time from the side hustle. That way you've used your job to pay for what you needed, and your job also pays for your lifestyle up until the time that your mobile welding business can then provide for you. I think that's the best way to go. Wish I had the opportunity to do that, and I'm already in it now. That's just my advice for the financials for you guys. So like I said, it could go way better for you than for me. A lot of things went wrong. I had to pay for a lot of repairs and this, that, and the other. So I was $23,000 in for my own money just to get started from ground zero. And then on top of that, I needed money to live off of up until I started getting enough to sustain me. So it was a really rough year last year, but this is all lessons learned, and I hope it helps you. So, going to get into more videos talking about, more the intricacies. Whew, that was a big word, guys. Intricacies of the actual what kind of truck to look for, what kind of tools you need, and such like that with later videos. So, keep your eyes peeled. We're going to talk about it. You guys have a great day, and as always, I'll talk to you later.